Hey, and welcome to Caching in the Northwest. As you know, this is the official podcast of Geo Woodstock 18 right here in the Great Pacific Northwest. Now, it's Thursday night at 9 p.m. Pacific. I'm Chris of the Northwest, and we're going to talk about geocaches and geocachers from here and all around the globe. So while you're madly watching college basketball, we'll be caching in the Northwest. And tonight we are going to be talking about the year of the hide. And as always, live audience, we want you to share your thoughts with us. But we can't do that until we bring in our manic monkey. Some say, like a Twinkie, he never gets old. And others say his bingo nights are off the hook. All we know is he's called Land Monkey.
I love the improvisation. I thought it was going to be bongo nights when I looked at the show notes. So you just never know.
That may have been a typo. It was supposed to be bingo nights. And I read that and I looked at that and I go, oh, well, now bingo nights are better off the hook.
Are you sure? Because I'm kind of thinking bongo nights sound like a lot of fun to me. But and folks, if you want to have a great time, just come hang out on one of my bongo nights. They are off the hook. All right. It is good to be here with you, my friend. I will call out the obvious for those who are maybe listening and can't see, but Jim is not with us this evening. He's otherwise occupied. I'm hoping getting some rest, but I'll just do my usual ask and request of our listeners and our viewers. If you missed Jim, send him a message on Twitter. Just give him a little post, let him know that you missed him tonight. It's always nice to be missed. Nice to be reminded that you're loved. So anyways, we miss him. Witsend is on assignment. He is indeed. All right. Before we get into too much else though about tonight's topic, let's do our usual off the start here. And I will remind everybody that we appreciate the support of our patrons who help to keep this podcast coming each and every week. A special thanks to Land Sharks, one of our two corporate Denali level sponsors. Land Sharks wants to remind you, good listener, that they are currently having 20% off almost everything in the store. It's their biggest sale of the year and it ends March 31st. That's only a few days from now. So if you're listening to this podcast before March 31st and there's something you wanted to buy from Land Sharks, well, maybe right now is the time. So check it all out.
Pause the podcast. Go ahead.
We'll wait for you. It's okay. Yeah. Check it all out on landsharks.ca. And hey, our other corporate Denali level sponsor, well, that's Gold Country Geotourism. Remember to visit exploregoldcountry.com to learn more about the Geotour and visiting the amazing region of Gold Country. And folks, my Throwback Thursday video that I posted this week was from a Gold Country adventure as well. So you can go check that out if you want to get some insights into some of the amazing things and places you can see and things you can do up in Gold Country. There's so much more than what I can capture in my videos, so much more than what you can see in the background here. Gold Country is definitely the place to go. So check them out on Facebook, Explore Gold Country. Go to their website, exploregoldcountry.com. All right. And folks, if you want to know more about supporting the show, well, why don't you head on over and click that Patreon link on the cachingnw.com a website.
The website may be on the left or right. It could be behind you. So make sure you check all the exits. Thank you, Vanna.
You're welcome.
Hey, folks, if you want to add to tonight's show, why don't you use the hashtag HIDE? That's HIDE, along with the Octothorpe, of course. And of course, you can use the hashtag FATAS to add something for the after show. And don't forget, we want to know what you're cooking. Use the hashtag podcast baking to tell us what is in the oven tonight.
Can you smell what Chris is cooking?
Cough drops right now. Nothing else.
Oh, sorry to hear that, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, Chris is cooking cough drops. Unusual, but possibly true. Why don't we move on along and let's talk about a little bit of news. Now, some news that dropped this week is about the new geocaching souvenir promotion called Signals Labyrinth. We're not going to talk too much about it tonight in our news
Then
section
why'd you even bring it up?
because next week on this very podcast, next Thursday night, Genevieve from Geocaching HQ is going to join us to talk all about it. So if you want to know
Oh,
more and you got questions about Signals Labyrinth, send those questions to us. We will ask Genevieve when she joins the podcast. So
yeah.
don't
So
miss.
why should we even try to guess what it's going to be when we can have an expert on the show?
Exactly.
Mhm.
Don't miss next week's episode. It'll be fun. And hey, you know what else? Hot off the presses, it's the Geo Woodstock 18 newsletter. Folks, if you aren't yet signed up for the newsletter, well, it's pretty easy to do. Just go to geowoodstock.com. I had to think about that for a moment. And there's a link right there on the main page to sign up for the newsletter, check the blog articles, and be caught up on all the Geo Woodstock 18 news because stuff is happening fast and furious now.
Finally, right? I mean,
Yep.
I can understand how you can forget the website. You haven't used it all that much. But now you want to get out there and use it.
Yeah, for sure.
And sign up for that newsletter because there's good stuff in there.
Indeed. All right. What else we got?
Well, now you see why I have the cough drop. The geocaching policy updates also dropped this week. That's privacy settings, term of use, right?
Yeah.
As part of the ongoing commitment to give you more control over privacy on geocaching.com, we've added new user privacy controls to the account settings menu. With this release, you'll be able to control who sees certain parts of your geocaching.com profile, including your picture, your photo gallery, and your list of finds. Find out about new user privacy controls in the Help Center. Now, your profile also contains all the information about gameplay and is a helpful place for other geocachers to see your experience level in the game. That's an interesting way to put it,
Your
isn't
experience
it?
level.
Yeah.
I love it.
I don't
Also
know.
known as your stats.
Have I reached level 10 yet?
Time to level up, buddy.
So with these new controls, you'll be able to decide which details are visible to others when they view your profile. You can change your settings to private, friends only, or leave them public. See, now Land Monkey, I really like that they're using the friends list for this.
Yeah, it's
they added the friends list a long time ago, and it's come up a few times, but this is a really good application for it.
Yeah, I agree. And I've gone in and taken a look at the privacy settings, and it's pretty good. There's a fair bit of granularity as to what you can set, and you basically get three options. It's everybody can see, only friends can see, or no one can see. And I think it's great. It's very straightforward, kind of aligned with most of the rest of social media privacy controls. It's intuitive, and I think it's, without saying it's about time, I think it's very timely.
Boy, I haven't been feeling well, so I've watched a little more TV than normal, and I watched a documentary today that talked about all the data Facebook collects, and they figure they have about 20,000 data points on each Facebook member.
20,000.
20,000 data points.
Wow, that's a lot of data points.
So, if you can turn off some of these things, it's probably worth it.
Yeah, or maybe just leave Facebook. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
It's your choice. Wow. All right, but if you're going to leave Facebook and you're watching this podcast streaming live on Facebook right now, just wait till the podcast is over, because Facebook really wants the data points of what live streams you watch. All right. Do we want to jump into tonight's topic, Chris? You look like you're missing something. You okay?
Yes, let's do.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. So we have mentioned it before, but we're going to go into more detail. This 2022 is what Geocaching HQ is calling the Year of the Hide. So you can earn one souvenir by placing a new geocache that is published March 1st. That's already happened. And December 31st, that has yet to happen, 2022.
So it's like this window of time you could do it in that's like almost a year.
Yeah. Like pretty 9 months. Yeah. The 2022 Hider souvenir can be earned when a geocache or event is published, but it's not awarded for creating an Adventure Lab cache.
Ah, okay, that's interesting.
Each geocacher can only earn the souvenir once in 2022. So if you're thinking, you know what, I'm going to load up on souvenirs, I'm going to go do a power trail of 100 hides and get 100 souvenirs just so I can meet a challenge, that's not going to work.
All right. So yeah, and I think that's a good point. So I think maybe what we can start with is a few key tips that HQ shared in their blog about things to think about as you're planning to get that souvenir. What you can think about as you go do the hide, and probably a lot of you folks have already gotten the souvenir. If you have, why don't you share with us in the show notes? We're interested to know who's already got the souvenir and what you think about it. So please share that. Remember to use the hashtag hide so we know. And we'll share what HQ shared as their advice on earning the souvenir, but I think we'll probably riff off it a little bit as well. Chris, your thoughts and my thoughts on each of these points, and we want to hear from you live listeners about what you think. So the first one up that HQ says, and I couldn't agree more, but I know it's not always possible, is make it special. And they say there are only so many great locations available. Make sure you place a special cache that matches the environment. And there's some really good advice. That could mean literally you camouflage it well, or topically, like a rocket-shaped cache outside a planetarium. There you go. So some great advice. Yep, go ahead, Chris.
I was going to say some of the caches I have found have been in the perfect location that, for that type of container, you walk right past it.
Yeah.
And others I found, like, let's say a toilet out in the middle of the woods that, is just one of those things that make you go, huh?
Hopefully that's what it makes you go. It could make you go something else.
Oh, yes. Yeah. It's not plumbed, so don't expect any. Well, never mind.
All right. Good advice. But yeah, I think that's great advice. And so I would say that, so hide an appropriate type cache for the location. That's just generally good advice. I think another piece of making it special is, lots of people want to get their first hide out. And I think we'll talk about this a little bit more later, but I guess pace yourself is my advice.
Yeah, there's no rush to get your first hideout, right? Some people are really excited. This is what they want to do. Great, go do it. Yeah. But if you're one of those and like, I don't know what to do, you know what? Attend a couple of events. Ask some of the more prolific hiders in your area. Hey, I went and found this cache of yours. It was great. How did you do it? How did you find that spot? How did you construct that container? You know what? They're going to be more than willing to help you. Yeah. Because they want to go find great caches themselves.
Absolutely. And I see a couple of comments in the notes about events. And we'll get to that topic. But before we jump to that, maybe I'll just share what Keats had to say, because I think it's relevant at this moment as well. And he noted that he got his souvenir after his event in Langley got published on April 18th. So the event is April 18th at 6:30 p.m., but the publishing of the event granted him the souvenir. So there's a little bit of a nuance there. And I guess that's because it would be the same as if you had a traditional cache or a multi or a puzzle published. That's when you would get the souvenir. So if you're planning an event, and that's another way that you can earn the souvenir, because it's not all about the hides. Sometimes it's about the social part of the game.
That's right. Komakino has a really good point.
I messed you up there. Okay.
That's okay. That says, make sure your cache is hidden before you activate it.
Yeah, that's very
I've
good
done that,
advice.
right? Yeah.
Before you submit it to the reviewers.
Right. Yeah. I had the spot all picked out, had it ready to go, and then found out that big metal box wasn't magnetic.
Whoops.
Yeah, it was an aluminum box.
This is aluminum. There you go.
And there you go. Keats' event is his 12-year Geo birthday event. So happy birthday, or happy Geo birthday Keats.
There you go.
And in case anybody wants to go, it's GC9PYTG.
That's a mouthful. That one does
Well,
not roll off
PYT is
the tongue, does it?
pretty young thing.
Ah, there you go.
Hmm.
All
Okay.
right. You want to take us to the next
I
topic
would love
there?
to. The next one is, you know what? I think I've already said it. In that I should probably read the show notes ahead of time. Take your time. There's no need to rush. Now you have until
What?
yeah.
What's up?
Well, I'm
Oh, that
okay.
date
I
can't be
understand.
right.
Well, that's what I was looking. You have until December 17th, 2022 to submit your favorite point magnet to review. That could be because it
Oh,
could take a while
for the
before it's
reviewers.
actually yeah.
And if it's an event, you need 2 weeks. So
Yes.
that's why. Okay.
I had to do some math in my head.
You
It
had me
hurts,
thinking there
but I
too.
did it.
Wait a minute. That date's not right. They made a typo in the blog. No, they didn't. They know what they're
No,
doing.
they didn't. So you have until mid-December to get your cache or event published. So take your time, make sure it's good. You know, don't just rush out because you know what? There's a spot on the sidewalk 2 blocks down that's just begging for a geocache that I could put there. You know, it might be a great spot. It may not be. So take
So
your time.
there's no rush. Yeah, absolutely. And actually on that note of there's no rush, there's, one of the things you can do is and I'm going to get our chat lackey to maybe chime in. Now he's paying attention to maybe chime in and validate what I'm about to say here. So I'm going to say something and then I may get corrected. So just put that out there. But if if you have identified what you think might be a good location, but you're just not sure, um, you can actually submit that location to the reviewer as to have the reviewer validate for you, like, is it okay to publish a cache here? So what I've done in the past is in the reviewer note, when you go to submit it, to say, I am doing a coordinate check. Can you please validate that this location is okay? Now, there are some things they can't validate
Mhm.
for, but they can at least say, there's nothing else in the proximity, based on what I can see on the maps and such, this is an okay place. Yes, you can place like a cache there. That doesn't mean that the cache itself is okay, right? Because so don't
Right.
nail it to a tree, blah blah blah, all that stuff. But I think you can do that. Do what's called a coordinate check with your reviewer, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm just going to wait and see if the chat lackey uh, corrects that or validates that, but I believe that's something you can do. So
The
again,
the
take
chat
your
lackey hasn't blown a gasket yet.
time.
So so I think we're okay.
There you go. So he says, yes, you can generally submit a coordinate check cache, add that phrase, the phrase coordinate check, to the title and the reviewer note. Reviewers will do a quick check for you. So there you go.
And Land Monkey, what you're really asking for is this spot a good spot as far as the radius from other caches?
Well, it's the proximity, but I think they also validate, like, are you allowed to place caches there? Because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes there's some parks and some areas, etc., where they're
Can't be
verboten.
on a railroad track or a bridge or anything like that. Mhm.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's not just is this a good spot? The lack or the reviewer is not going to tell you, oh, that's a terrible spot, right?
Well, they
So
might. I don't know. It
well,
depends
they
on
might.
your reviewer. What are you smoking, dude? Yeah. I don't know.
I want it inside the mall. Is that okay?
It might be. I don't
So
know. It depends on your
they might be.
reviewer.
Yeah.
Your
And
mileage may vary.
make sure you're under the big skylight so you can get GPS reception.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Enough of the silliness.
We'll move
Well,
on.
for
Well, no,
this question.
that's
Yeah.
not enough of the silliness. There'll be more. Trust me. All right. Another topic they had is follow innovative hiders and finders, I would add, on social media.
Mhm.
HQ is going to continue to publish content to inspire and teach about cache hiding, but I would suggest beyond HQ's social media, there's tons of great social media out there of people who place and find innovative caches. Of course, the geocaching vlogger, but there's tons more. And so, follow them on social media, follow them
Mhm.
on their YouTube channels. Um, You follow me. And hey, I got to say it. Um, and if you don't have a great idea for your next hide yet, inspiration may just be around the corner. So um, there's always neat ideas on there. Another place is, believe it or not, Pinterest usually has some
Mm,
neat ideas for geocache hides.
mhm.
So social media, check it out. Always, search geocaching or geocaches, or creative caches is a good thing to search. But yeah, that'll be pretty cool. And if you want to share your hides and your ideas, make sure to use hashtag 2022 hider on Instagram and Facebook, and then it might catch the attention of HQ. They might give you a little
Mm,
thumbs up.
there you go. There you go. 2022 hashtag 2022 hider on
Yep.
Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah.
Nice.
Who do you follow on social media for geocaching stuff, Chris?
I follow most of the bloggers
Okay.
and the vloggers. So yeah, I follow a lot of people.
Yeah. Same. Same.
Yeah. I don't want to mention some and leave some out. So,
Fair enough. Chris
yeah.
doesn't want to publicly say he does not follow me at all on social media, so he's just trying to be really kind about it. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'll give
I'm
you an
trying
out.
to yeah. I used to be the bad cop, but I'm not anymore, as you can tell.
Yep.
Now I'm in touch with my feelings.
Hmm. All right. Well, keep them to yourself
Okay.
and move on to the next topic.
Like real men. Let's just throw a ball back and forth and not talk about
Arr.
feelings.
There we go.
Hey, the next one is plan for maintenance. A soggy logbook is a thing of geocachers' nightmares.
Ooh, scary.
Don't turn the great moment you've envisioned for your fellow seekers into a miserable situation, and make sure you maintain your caches after publication. Now, I want to pull in Starcacher here
Hmm.
because he says my 120th hide, that's 97 active,
Wow.
has been approved 2 hours ago, and since it's not 24/7, the reviewer will publish it at 8 or 7:30 a.m. tomorrow. I'll get my souvenir then. That
Awesome.
hide continues my monthly hiding streak. I've hidden one or more geocaches each calendar month since December 2015. That's a 20 or 76 month streak.
Wow. I bet his community appreciates that.
Mm-hmm. Well, and
Every
that
month
also
something new to
says,
find.
he's got to go out and maintain those.
Yeah.
Right. So he's got 97 active caches. That's a lot of work to go
That's
out and
gotta make it
maintain those.
hard to go caching because you spend a lot of time maintaining.
So Starcacher, thank you. Thank you for adding to the game. We appreciate it.
Yes, absolutely.
I wanted to mention the innovative hider. I was out, was it just last week or 2 weeks ago? I can't remember. Maybe let's go 2 weeks ago with
Sure.
MC3 Cats at an
Okay.
event. And we went out hiding afterwards and we found a tree
You
cache.
went out hiding?
We went out. Yeah.
That's so cute.
Yeah, it was. Nobody else could find us. No, we went out caching afterwards. Wow. Good drugs. We went out caching afterwards and found an innovative tree hide that I hadn't seen before.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember the snap bracelets
Yeah.
of, a decade ago?
Yeah.
They took one of those and put a film canister on it, drilled through it, put a film canister on it, and put that on a tree branch.
Oh.
It held very nicely to the tree branch and won't damage it, right? It'll expand and contract
Yeah.
as needed. And I thought that's a genius way to attach to a tree.
How long has that been out?
It was quite rusty.
Okay, I was gonna be curious how that would hold up.
Mhm.
That's interesting. Very cool. Very cool.
So I thought that was very innovative. I was
That
like,
is
"Oh,
very
this is a great
innovative.
idea."
So
Where
yeah,
can I find
talking
a
about
snap bracelet nowadays? You can't.
yeah, I don't know. Swag in a cache? I don't know.
Maybe.
But yeah, so talking about innovative hides and finds, that's a really cool one, Chris. I have not seen that idea done before. It's a great idea to share. All right. Those are some of the key pieces of advice that HQ had. Again, we're really interested with anything you guys have to share, and we see there's been a few hashtag hide comments, and we'll make sure we get to all of them. Um, HQ had some questions that came in in response to their blog post, and they posted some answers. We talked about some of this earlier, but
Mhm.
one of the first questions was which types of caches qualify for the souvenir. And again, so as a reminder, all cache types, including events, will qualify for the 2022 Hydra souvenir. Adventures created for the Adventure Lab app, however, do not count. So finding Adventure Labs, of course, counts for your find count, and it'll count for points in the Signals Labyrinth, but those do not count to get you the Hider souvenir.
Yeah. But events do count. So that's an important one to remember,
Mm.
right? You can put out an event. Um, if you've got that community celebration event, now's a great time to put it out.
There was a question or a comment about that. Why don't we jump to that one? Who was that? Let's go through our. It was Cliff, CRS 98. He had said only half of his comments here. He had said that I assume that community event celebrations count. That's only the first half of what he had. Where's the other half? Anyways, it's back here somewhere. There we go.
There you go.
Even though they were awarded in 2020, as long as they are, as long as they occur from March to December 22. I believe that is correct.
Mhm.
Um, as long as you schedule them between March and December. Now, if you've already scheduled it before this promotion started, you won't get the souvenir for it. But if you schedule it like from now onwards, then you will.
Mhm.
So you have to submit it for review, and that's once it gets published. So if it's already published, but it's happening later this year, too bad. But if it hasn't been published yet, then you're good. Did that make sense? I feel like that didn't make
Yes.
sense. Okay.
It has to be published or submitted by March 1st. If it was before that, it doesn't count, even though the event may happen after March 1st.
Okay. That makes sense. All right.
JCar says CC events count. A community celebration events count. I got my souvenir when mine was published.
Nice. Congrats. One
Now,
more. Oh,
Lost Ken says maybe I'll finally get out my first hide.
there you go.
Well, you know what?
It's a
When
good
you
time to
want to
do
do
it.
your first hide, where do you start?
Segue.
Yeah. So,
Well played, Chris.
thank you. Hiding a geocache requires learning what's great about geocaching before finding a number and variety of geocaches yourself. It can be hard to judge a great cache from a lousy one. We recommend finding at least 20 caches before hiding your own. You know, I have heard people say, well, you can't hide one until you've at least found, 100 caches. Well, you may be in a low count area where 100 caches is going to be impossible.
Yeah, I think we've talked about this a few times on the podcast before, but just
Mhm.
like, how many should you find before you do your first hide? And I mean, there's no magic number. I think what we had agreed on is that what's really valuable is to, other than, just overall quantity, try and find some variety. Like get
Exactly.
out and find, more than just like if you find 20 micros and then you go hide another micro, okay, you're probably hide an okay micro, but try and find some variety of caches before you hide your own. So variety in sizes, variety in DT, variety in cache types.
Mhm.
Um, it'll help you have a better understanding of the game as a whole, and it'll improve the quality of what you hide. You
Right.
might have a great idea right off the start of like, oh, I've got the perfect idea for a cache, but you might not have the right location. So you might not understand the DT ratings well enough,
Mhm.
or how those DT ratings are generally used in your area. Because one thing I've
Right.
noticed with my travels is that every community tends to use the DT settings a little bit differently. So
Mhm.
um,
Exactly.
so I
Exactly.
would say, sure, at least 20. You could say at least 100, whatever number, but I would suggest find a variety of cache types, sizes, and DTs before you go and hide your own.
Mhm. And then hide what you like.
Yes. Hide what
right?
you like
I
to
mean,
find.
yeah, if you really like finding an ammo can in the woods, go hide an ammo can in the woods, because if it's what you like to find, you're going to make it interesting for you, which means it's going to be interesting for others, right? Uh,
Absolutely.
no, GeoNav Pro says, ask a geo friend.
Yep.
And I think
Good
that kind
advice.
of goes back to the event thing, right? Go to a
Yes.
local event and ask some of the local hiders there. Hey, I've got this idea. What do you think? Would you be willing to go with me out to the site and help me hide it well?
Yeah. I know
Yeah.
GeoNav Pros has done that for a few people, including GeoTour. He's
Mhm.
gone out and helped. So yeah, always a
Or
good
even
idea.
beta test it, right? So before it goes live, you give them the coordinates and you say, go check this and see what you think. I think I did a pretty good job, but I want another set of eyes on it.
Yeah.
In the show notes, or I'm sorry, in the chat, Trexer, I like the change, said it's been fun hiding multi-caches lately. I find it's a fun challenge to craft something different.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there you go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's again, right? The more different multis you find, the more you'll get a sense of, oh, I could do this with a multi, right? It doesn't
Mhm.
have to just be go to the sign at the trailhead, look for the phone number, use the numbers out of the phone number and do a substitution. Like there's nothing wrong with that. That's great. Those are fun. But there's probably lots of multis out there where somebody has thought of something different and you can learn and apply.
Or
Just
call the
finding
phone number and ask where the cache is.
yeah, you could try that. I saw Just Finding Our Way had a comment, looks like in response to um, my advice and talking about how cache DTs differ. And he said hide styles vary in different regions as well. And absolutely, like some
Mhm.
places, one of the things that I found in Northwest Washington State was the first time I really saw a concentration of these. Um, is a smaller pill bottle inside a larger pill bottle, which
Mhm.
is such a great hide for the Pacific Northwest. So if you're going to hide a pill bottle, give it a little extra insulation from the water, a
Exactly.
little extra
And
protection. So,
and then make sure to put the log in a baggie inside.
and that, yeah, for
Mhm.
sure. What else have we got?
Um, Keats has an evil idea for a night cache. Evil's all in caps. It's also live backwards in case you wanted to know.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah.
So looking forward to
So
that. Hopefully he can find a good place
great.
at
Go
the night
go out and
cache.
put a night cache. I love finding night caches. I
Oh,
have an idea for a night cache. So I should probably go put one out. And you know what? I think I'm gonna need some fire tax. And I hear that the land sharks have a sale right now.
now would be the time to buy some night tax.
Ah,
Yep, there you go. Well, they're one of our sponsors. Maybe you can get 20% off, Chris.
isn't that the sale price right now?
It is.
Shh.
Maybe
Oh,
everybody
oh
can
yeah,
get
maybe I can. Maybe
20%.
you
Maybe
know what?
everybody can.
We're so in with the land sharks that we're gonna give you guys 20% off too. You can have our discount.
Oh, wow, you are so generous,
Yeah.
sir. All right.
Just use the hashtag. You don't need a hashtag.
Um, Keats also on the topic of doing
Oh,
multis
oops.
and learning. He
No,
shared
which Keats did you have?
the latest one about Trexer.
Go ahead.
It's the one.
Okay.
Okay, stop clicking things. I'm going to click the one I want.
I'm
Nope.
done
There we go.
clicking.
All right, I
Yeah, I
got it
know.
now
See, it's not easy, is it?
because it moved. All right. So Keats shared that he has learned so much from multi caches, from finding multi caches. He said Trexer hid a fantastic multi in Port Coquitlam dedicated to Terry Fox. I haven't done that one yet. I'm looking forward to that. So there you
Who's
go.
Terry
And then
Fox? How come I
Ter-
should know that?
you don't. Okay, Terry Fox is a Canadian hero. He was a cancer survivor at the time who ran across Canada
Hmm.
on a prosthetic leg.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
There's
I was
many
gonna say I should
statues and
know the
plaques
name.
dedicated to Terry Fox.
Hmm.
There
I
you go.
mean, he's not famous enough to get an entire donut empire named after him, but you know,
Oh,
there are other famous Canadians.
I was wondering where you were going with that for a moment. Okay, I gotcha. And a little tit for tat. Trexer returns the kindness to Keats. This is a very Canadian podcast tonight.
Mhm.
And says, I found a Keats 94 ammo can today. The contents were in great shape. So there you go. Everybody's loving everybody. And yes, Brian, chat like he shares hashtag, you don't need a hashtag. There you go. All right.
Oh, Lost Ken says very few events in my area. Maybe I should start having one on a regular basis to discuss with other cashers. That's
Great
a
idea,
great
Ken.
way to do it. Yeah.
Yep.
Just say, we're going to meet I don't know, third Wednesday, because obviously every Thursday night's taken up. So,
There you go.
the third Wednesday of the month at the local coffee shop here, and,
Yeah.
come if you can.
Or meet Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Pacific and just have the podcast on while you're meeting. There you go.
Oh, there you go.
Stream it live at your event.
Oh, I like that.
There you go. Let us know if you're going to do that, and we will make sure to shout out to your event during the podcast.
That's right. If you're in one of our local areas, we just may show up. You never know.
It could happen.
We could have a live podcast stream from your location.
It's happened before.
Yes. Sometimes even coordinated, sometimes by chance.
Sometimes we actually think about what we're doing. Let's not get carried away here, though.
Okay.
All right.
JKR says multi-caches are the best.
There you go.
That's not the way he would say it.
No?
No.
Okay. I kind of like that way.
Okay.
What else have we got? Starcacher.
Starcacher says, I like hiding multis where the chords are in an information plaque, either historical or in memory of something, and the final chords are determined from reading the information and doing some math.
Yep.
There you go.
That is a very useful way to put a multi together. It makes it fairly straightforward for the person who is finding it to know what to do. And it brings people to an interesting place, the plaque or statue or whatever. So yeah, that's a great idea.
I mean, if somebody went to the effort to make a plaque, they think it's important enough.
Yep.
To bring you there. Now, Minimag has a great idea here. I'm hosting my very first event. It's a build day to make geocaches.
Great idea. That reminds me back a few years ago when they had the Maker Madness thing going on.
Yes. That was I thought about that. That was a long time ago.
It feels like a long time ago.
Let me tell you, Sonny, back when they used to help you make your own caches.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Well, Minimag, that's awesome. I hope you have a fantastic event, and and I hope it goes well.
Hey,
stream the podcast live.
He's going to be doing that. See you in Lewiston, Idaho.
Awesome. There you go.
Nice.
Lost Ken's got a plan.
Love it.
What else have we got, Chris?
Well, that was it for the show, for the show notes that we have.
Okay.
We got through them quick, but you guys have great ideas on the hides. So I love it.
So it might be a bit of a shorter show tonight, but some good content for sure.
I think GeoNav Pros wants to know in Minimag's event.
All right. Or Lost Ken's event. So either one
or
of you.
Lost Ken's event, yeah.
I'll tell you, actually, Minimag and Lost Ken, share your GC codes and we'll share them on the podcast if you want.
Yeah.
And either tonight or next week, and we'll make sure we promote your event for you.
And go out and find a multi-cache, because multi-caches are the best.
Yes, I've heard that somewhere.
Minimag's in Santa Barbara, California.
No, that's not Santa Barbara, Canada. When I see CA.
Okay. Oop.
All right.
So it could be Santa Barbara, Canada, but I don't know of one. I do know of California.
Fair enough.
Santa Barbara sounds better.
Well, I think he says sounds better than Lewiston. Is what he's getting at. I don't know. Both are great places. And hey, on that note, I am quite excited by the fact that the entry or re-entry testing restrictions here in Canada are being dropped very shortly. And so I'm looking forward to some road trips to the US again in my near future. Looking forward to that.
So, what does that mean? Do you not have to get tested then before you go out? You can just come back in with a vaccine card or
Yep. I just need
just,
to have my proof of vaccination,
okay.
which I have, and I'll be able to, yeah, as Brian says, hashtag geocache road trip, and be able to come back no problem. Komakino says Lewiston is his hometown. Well, who knows? Maybe Komakino will show up for your event there, Lost Ken. We'll have to see.
There you go.
Look at all the
I
connections.
love Idaho. Just finding our ways. Is happy to see you visit Arizona.
Oh man, I will get back to Arizona. We have gone through Arizona before on a big road trip we did a few years ago. We went to oh man, we eventually went to Grand Canyon, but we flew down to Phoenix, picked up a rental car, and worked our way north. Yeah, just that whole area down there is beautiful. Yeah, loved it.
Yeah.
Looking forward to a future trip for sure. Just
Yeah.
finding our way.
I don't have the state of Arizona yet.
Really? That
Yeah.
surprises me.
I know. So we are doing a vacation coming up here, and we're going to be in, what do we say? Do we say southeastern California? Right? So not too far from Arizona. We're going to go over and see the London Bridge.
Oh, okay. I've heard about that.
Yeah, that's really cool. So I'll be able to grab an extra state, and Nevada as well.
Very cool. And I see someone's road tripping up from Las Vegas with Peach of Washington in 2 weeks. Not a surprise.
No, how come I have a feeling it won't be a quick road trip? They're not going to come up here in a day and a half. It might take them 2 weeks because of all the caches they'll find.
There you go, for sure.
Yes, Van Isle Lady. It's Lake Havasu.
Oh, okay.
Is where the London Bridge is. Yeah, that bridge was taken apart and shipped over brick by brick. Well, multiple bricks in a shipment, but stone by stone.
That's pretty cool.
Reassembled. My dad took me there in the 70s. So, I've seen it before, but it was one of those things of like, I don't really remember it. I guess I do. It's time to go back.
Very cool, man.
Mini Mag says it's GC9 PYWA, and the WA, of course, is for Washington. We'll post some pics of the caches we make that day.
Awesome. Fantastic. Looking forward to it. Make sure you share. Okay. Gas Station Tuna just joined and said, I'm
here. What did I miss?
You missed Minimag announcing their event. So GST, you need to go to Minimag's event. That's GC9PYWA. They're going to make some caches.
That's right. That was the whole thing.
Yep. There you go. That was the whole show. All right. Well, hey, listeners, we want to thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Caching in the Northwest. I want to take a moment, as always, to thank Landsharks and to thank Gold Country Geotourism, our corporate Denali level sponsors. Landsharks, well, they are the outdoor adventure and geocaching store having their sale on right now. Check them out online. They are shipping those orders daily. And for absolutely amazing geocaching adventures, check out exploregoldcountry.com.
That's right. And we also want to thank our faithful Denali level supporters. That's Landsharks, Gold Country Geotour, Team Squirrel, Groovy Owl, and Cachly, the geocaching app. If you want to know more about supporting the show, click on the Patreon link on the CachingNW.com website, just like Tickamagnet did.
And Utah's 2 rocks.
Just 2 rocks?
Yep.
Okay. CRS 98.
And if you're a spilly drinker, you'll have a wet coaster.
M Nerve.
Keats 94.
Kev MacD.
Sege Hove.
Skyhawker.
The Geo Nav Pros.
Kennel Barb.
Peach of Nevada and heading back to Washington.
Peach of many states.
Yes.
She could be Peach of Utah while driving back, Peach of Idaho, or Peach of California and
Depending on the route.
Oregon.
Yeah,
It depends on the route. Wherever she is, she's a peach.
indeed.
And speaking of traveling, what about the Geo Travelers?
What about them? What about Seebeck Tribe?
Acerdoc,
B. Pendragon.
green words.
GSM ×2.
Team Noltex,
Sprouter.
Fairwood West.
Solving Puzzles Dora Moore.
Oh, Logwork.
The Camp Clan. What are they baking tonight?
Oh. And I'm sure this next cashier is very happy with the recent football trade. Broncos fan for life.
I feel like there's more to that story. Tell me in the after show.
I'm hurt.
Okay. All right. Well, before we get there, we also want to thank Kitty Quest.
And Genies.
And careful how you say it because it just changed. Trexer.
And Teus.
Subway Mark.
3 hams. And a rose.
MC 3 Cats.
Donners.
On a boot.
Ari. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I threw in the dramatic pause.
I threw Alarobric in there pretty fast while you were counting down. So keep going.
T-Sayer.
Korsgat.
UDAC.
And we know he's listening now. GST. Gas Station Tuna. Terrible lunch. Great geocacher.
Just finding our way.
My favorite appliance in the kitchen, the LG 9000.
IMAX.
Boomer 365.
Kid Vegas 19.
And topping off the list or ending off the list or wherever we are
Topping
on
off
the
his
list.
drink.
Topping off his drink as we end off the list. It's Wino Seattle. That was well done.
Folks, thanks for taking the time to listen to this episode of Caching in the Northwest. Your support helps keep the quality shows coming. If you like the show, click on the Patreon link on the CachingNW.com website. If you didn't like the show, let us know what you want us to talk about. In either case, please subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify. Oh, there's so many more. Subscribe and give us a review. A thumbs up is good too. You can call 253-693-TFTC and leave us a comment, ask us a question, or you know what? Help us hide that cache any time of the day or night. And of course, you can email us at feedback@cachingnw.com. Join us every Thursday, not every night, just every Thursday at 9 p.m. Pacific for a live show and chat. Now, if you join us every night, that's kind of creepy. That's like spying.
And we may not be here.
So don't do that. This show is produced by Chris Umfenauer, Jim Paulwitz, and Jay Kennedy. It's licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license, copyright 2022 by Chris Umfenauer. And folks, I ask you to stay tuned for
The after.
Wits End is here after all, isn't he?
He was partly here. You cut him off halfway through.
Did I?
When you hit your mute.
Oh, I hit my mute to cough and that. Oh, here, hang on.
Play it again.
The after show.
There you go. That's better.
It didn't pause for me, so I thought I could be safe.
Now I feel complete. All right.
The what?
Yeah, exactly.
The after.
The app.
Wet Coaster says
Yes.
you can rewatch the shows every night.
That is true. You can. I don't know why you would want to do that, but you can.
Do I want to know this? Our podcast baking was superseded by a spicy pillow in Monkey Cake's laptop.
I am not certain what
I'm
that
thinking
means.
that's like a battery expansion
Okay.
because it's in the laptop.
Ah, okay.
Brightling only needs 3 Jasmer caches:
Ah.
Idaho, Utah, and Northern California.
Hashtag geocache road trip.
And Trexer says that was a great episode about future United States trips. Oh, wait.
I'm just excited.
I know.
Looking forward to coming down.
Kyle says you can get 2 Washington souvenirs that I'm aware of. 2 WA souvenirs. There you go. Washington State and Western Australia.
Yeah, that works. What's Wales? Is that WA as well?
I don't know.
I'll have to get the research department to check into that. IHAM validates that spicy pillow equals battery getting puffy. So yeah, that is not good.
No, that's not good at all.
Gas
I had a work
station
laptop that was like that.
Gas Station Tune is asking what the Octothorpe for tonight's after show is. It's the same as every episode.
Hashtag FATAS.
Yeah.
Apparently it sounds questionable.
Hashtag FATAS.
I'm thinking it's a spicy pillow.
Yeah. At first I thought it was like a new type of sushi.
The spicy pillow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, well,
Get a spicy pillow roll, please.
I have to say, I didn't know if I wanted to click it because, I just read as a spicy pillow in Monkey Cake's lap. As I scanned through and I'm like, wait a minute.
What's going on there? Yeah. Sounds like a Land Monkey YouTube video.
Oh.
All right.
GeoNav Pros has both WA souvenirs.
Western Australia and Washington State. There you go. Very cool. Was there anything else for FATAS? We had Keats94 shared that he's got a new episode live at 10 a.m. tomorrow in Wandering New Westminster. Excellent. Well, we're looking forward to it, Keats. Thank you for sharing that. And with that, Chris, what do you think?
I would say thank you for joining us. And until next week, get out and get caching.